Hello, welcome to Go Ballistic. The Scottish Suns look ahead to the Premiership weekend and look back on what, unless you're a Hearts fan, has been a rather chastening week in European football. Later on, we'll hear from SunSport's bookie basher Jim Delahunt as he looks ahead to the weekend's big games. With me this morning, SunSport's Ben Ramage. It's a sort of morning after the night before and a heavy defeat for Rangers at Ibrox against Lyon.
Yeah, I think obviously it was a really disappointing night for the club. I was a bit surprised because I thought that Rangers had been defensively more solid in recent weeks, but I think they just came up against a different level of opposition last night. I thought Fofana looked sublime, for his age. I thought he looked brilliant, probably a good one for the future and the here and now. And Lacazette as well, finishing was just a different level, wasn't it? I think Rangers had chances, didn't take them, especially you think Czerny's early on that could have really set the tone for a totally different night. He misses that one after 3 minutes. Lyon go ahead a minute later, and it didn't really get back on track from that point on.
There are people who will say about like Celtic and Dortmund on Tuesday that you just need to draw a line under it. How difficult is it to draw a line under some of the things that happened last night? Because you're right, Fofana, Cherki, Lacazette, sensational front three. But for Rangers, it's a dreadful miss by Czerny. It's Peter Van Vossen style. As they used to say in the primary school in Girvan, my granny could have scored it. Tavernier, hooked. That was the fastest he ran all night when he saw his number coming up. Connor Barron, dreadful pass across his own goal to allow Lyon to score the second goal. A heavy challenge. He probably unlucky to get away with a booking in the second half. The certain Rangers players, will they take a day or two to get over their own performances?
Yeah, I think so. You look at Czerny as well. There has been question marks about whether he can really step up to this level, and that kind of miss is going to take some time for the fans to maybe forgive as well. He's going to have to win over people again, potentially. Barron's obviously started the season really well, but again, this is a new level for him, up against, proper, very, very good opposition. So, yeah, I think there's probably going to take a bit of time. And obviously they don't have much time, they can't really take too long to get over it because they need to stay on track in the league as well.
Celtic of Ross County, Rangers of St Johnstone at the weekend. It would be no surprise if they come back and enjoyed heavy wins themselves. In terms of Tavernier, is his position now under threat? Because not only is Dujon Sterling there, having signed a new 4-year contract through the week, but Casemiro has come in and he hasn't looked a bad signing so far. Could Philippe Clement be thinking about leaving out as captain?
Well, I think Clement kind of, in his post-match comments as well, was talking up Casemiro. Is that the right name?
Mm-hmm. It will do.
Close enough. He mentioned how good defensively he is, which I thought was quite interesting, just to kind of pinpoint that out. And that might be something as he looks forward in terms of solidifying the defence, that he might be the guy to go to. I think Tavernier's future was questioned in the summer, has been questioned in the last few seasons. It has to come to an end at some point, and this might be a bit of succession planning in terms of getting the new man in.
Rangers fans won't like any kick-off on a Sunday night. Is it maybe a good thing for Rangers that they've got the full 3 days to prepare, because there was a lot of chasing of shadows last night as Lyon were going forward? Yeah,
I think so. It will have been quite a draining night, emotionally as well, physically as well. The more time they can kind of get on the training pitch, like you kind of mentioned as well, that they could well come back and win quite convincingly at the weekend. That is possible, but it's obviously not guaranteed. You mentioned Celtic as well, going to Ross County. Aberdeen found it quite difficult at Dingwall. Hearts only just beat them, just drew last minute at Tynecastle. So Ross County are a bit more solid under Duncarry as well. So again, not a given.
There were kind of echoes of what happened in Dortmund. You see Malik Fofana playing so well last night. It was like Karim Adeyemi for Dortmund, his hat-trick against Celtic. How will Celtic bounce back? We're going to hear later on today from Brendan Rodgers, from Celtic players, speaking for the first time since that 7-1 defeat. Can he is it as simple as just drawing a line under it and saying Dortmund are a quality team, they were in the Champions League final at Wembley last May, and we move on from there?
Yeah, I think that was a different level of opposition altogether. I think that is literally the top tier of European teams that they came up against in Dortmund as well, away from home. I think, and especially when you look at the way they have played, I think obviously Brendan Rodgers tried to play a similar way in Dortmund, and it obviously totally didn't work at all. And you would think that he would learn from that. But I still think if they go back to playing that way against Ross County, I think they will be very hard to stop.
Are there changes in the team coming on. Alistair Johnson hobbled off. Could we see Ralston? Greg Taylor has come off at half-time in the last 2 games. Is Alec Vi due a start? And further forward, Hatate didn't start in Dortmund. Probably impressed a bit more in the second half. Should he start? And is there an argument for Ademida over Kyogo?
I think Hatate was the big surprise for me that he didn't play in Dortmund. I thought that was a bit of a misstep because I just think he brings so much to midfield, defensively and offensively. It'll be interesting to see Alex Vi a bit more, and maybe Dingwall is somewhere that he thinks that, okay, he can get away with playing in there a little bit more. And Ademida, I think he gives that physical presence up front. He's obviously desperate to impress as well, so it might be a chance for him. And obviously then if you bring Kyogo on against a tiring defence, he can be equally as effective off the bench, you would suspect.
Now, one of our regular viewers who has liked and subscribed in the Scottish Sun YouTube channel, Hearts fan Ewan Murray, was telling me last night that Hearts have boosted the coefficient and the 2 little teams from Glasgow have let the side down. Joking aside, could this be a turning point for Hearts last night, that win against Dinamo Minsk?
Yeah, absolutely. I was covering the game at the weekend, and I even thought that Shanklin's equalised last minute. Sometimes, I mean, you could see the reaction from the fans and the players. Sometimes you just need that little bit of spark. And that even felt like a little bit of a turning point itself. And then to obviously go away in Europe and win. I know it was behind closed doors. It wasn't against the most illustrious team. But it's still a win, and to win last minute as well. It shows that the character's still there, I think. And obviously they're looking for a new manager at the moment. I think even that kind of victory in Europe, that might just help a manager that's maybe thinking, what's the kind of morale like? What's the team like? Yeah. What's the character like? Well, they kind of show there that they're still fighting for each other. And they do have talented players, so it was an important win, I think, for Hearts.
It's been a remarkable week. Liam Fox, the caretaker manager, and the young right-back Aaron Forrester have gone from the Lowland League, taking on Broomhill, to the Conference League, beating Dinamo Minsk. 41-year-old Craig Gordon back in the Scotland squad. Shankland scoring and creating and staying in the Scotland squad. A first goal for Jan Danda. It's still a big journey back from Azerbaijan to Aberdeen for Sunday afternoon, but will it be buoyed by everything that's happened over the last week?
Yeah, I think so. I think it'd be hard not to be. Especially when you've been on such a bad run, so many losses consecutively, you could see the confidence had totally drained under Stephen Naismith. But Liam Fox coming in as well, he's a boyhood Hearts fan, so I think he will be injecting that sort of enthusiasm into the squad. I think Aberdeen Hearts, it's been a long, long time since an away team has won that fixture. Yeah. It's one of these quirky ones. I wouldn't bet a lot of money on Hearts going to Pittodrie and winning, but they've given themselves, they're in a much better place, put it that way, in terms of going up there this weekend.
It wouldn't be unlucky 13 for Jimmy Tillane, another win for the Dons?
That's what I'd be betting on. But you never know, these runs often have to come to an end, and it's often when you maybe don't expect them as much. And people might still be thinking, obviously Hearts haven't won in the league, that it's a stick on for Aberdeen, but it's shown in the past it's not always the way.
Ben, thanks very much.
Well, we can now join SunSport's bookie basher, Jim Delahunt. Jim, we were both bashing things about 5 o'clock last Saturday night at Kilmarnock Dundee United. You tipped Derek McInnes's men to win. They were 3-2 up. I had my match report for the Scottish Sun all written. And then Ross Graham equalises with a 99th minute penalty. Sometimes it's not fair.
It's really not fair, Roger. I mean, you say 3-2 up. I think it was 3-1 up at one stage. And the 99th minute penalty, I had the game ticked off in my little red book that it was a Kilmarnock home win when they came back from a goal down to lead 3-1. But there you go. That's football for you. But nobody ever said it was going to be easy, Roger. And I think Kilmarnock, a bit disappointed in the end. But Dundee United, they'll be delighted with another very valuable point, won't they?
Nobody said it was easy for the old firm in Europe. A couple of chastening defeats through the week. We do expect them, though, to bounce back on Sunday. Celtic at Dingwall early. Rangers at home to St Johnstone late on.
Yeah, well, they're back in the pond they can swim in, aren't they? Because those were 2 hugely disappointing defeats during the week for Celtic, first of all. And then you think, well, Rangers won't get hammered at home, surely. But they did. They get beat 4-1 as well. Celtic 7-1. Well done to Hearts. We'll mention them as well, of course. They got the result in that very strange atmosphere, not in Minsk, elsewhere in Azerbaijan. But well done to Hearts. But you're talking about Rangers Celtic. Celtic off the mark first on Sunday. I can't see anything other than a Celtic victory. I'm not going to look for anything other than a Celtic win at sorry, 2-11 and 1-6 are the prices across the board there. I think if you're doing ACCAs, you can probably just leave Celtic in there to get the away win at Ross County. The Rangers game, it's a strange one, isn't it? An 8 o'clock kickoff in Glasgow on a Sunday night. I'm going to have to tape the fishing show with Mortimer. But there we are. We'll just have to do that and watch the Rangers game. Rangers against St Johnstone. You've got to think, unless behind the scenes, Simo Valicari has made an immediate impact. Obviously, he hasn't got the work permit yet. He won't be able to be in the dugout. We know that. But Rangers against St Johnstone, it's got to be the home win. You have to think it's going to be the home win. It's unthinkable that it won't be after that poor performance against Lyon. They got the result against Hibs, despite Hibs being by far the better side in the second half. The interesting angle for me here, I think, assuming that St Johnstone haven't made dramatic improvement, Rangers are 1-7. Not even you can afford to bet at that price, Roger. At 1-7, I'd be looking at Rangers -2 here at 21-20. So suddenly you have an odds against bet if you accept that Rangers can beat St Johnstone by 3 goals. So worth a chance at 21-20. That would be the interesting angle for me.
Hearts did so well, as you say, in Azerbaijan last night. Straight from Azerbaijan to Aberdeen to take on a Dons team. 12 straight wins under Jimmy Tilleen. Will he make it 13?
I think he will. I really do. I've been looking at this game all week with the Hearts game on Thursday in mind and not worrying at all what happened in that Hearts game. I think Aberdeen will win this. They're 4-6 and 8-11. I think they might even be 8-13 by kick-off time on Sunday at 3 o'clock. Hearts, well done them for getting the result midweek. Well done them for coming back and getting a point last week thanks to Shankland's late goal. But I think Aberdeen have the momentum. I think they're good enough to win at home again. There's a terrific atmosphere at Pittodrie. Everybody's telling me that. The players are playing well. Okay, they've suffered a significant injury this week. We all know about that with Papagai. But Aberdeen to win at home against Hearts, that's the one for me this weekend on Sunday afternoon.
Now, Kelly, as we say, let us down about 5 o'clock last Saturday. They go to Dundee this Saturday. It's bound to be 2-2. It's always 2-2 when Dundee play Kilmarnock.
It really is, and it's got draw written all over it. But I think Kilmarnock fans will be looking at the prices in this one and thinking 2-1 away to a Dundee side, which have maybe slightly gone off the ball, unless you say that comeback against partial comeback rather against Aberdeen last week was a sign of better things to come. I think this maybe has draw written all over it again, Roger. I don't think either of us are being very original in saying that, but I'll go for the draw. Dundee Kilmarnock. I think both will score as well. So have a wee look at the both teams to score price 2 there.
Dundee United, after that point to Kilmarnock, they're on their travels again. They're at Paisley to take on St Mirren. I'm there tomorrow. I'm sure some of the Delahunt clan will be there as well, cheering on the buddies. How do you see that one going?
Yeah, JD Jr. is going to watch that one, Roger. St Mirren against Dundee United. I was there when they played the opposite way up at Tannadice in a League Cup tie earlier in the season. I thought they were very, very evenly matched, but I was also impressed by Dundee United that day as well. They've done really well. I mean, all credit. We're laughing about losing that game. Sorry, not losing that game. That Kilmarnock lost that 3-1 lead last week, but Dundee United came back and got the 3-3. Well done to them. I think this is another draw. We're looking at another draw on Saturday afternoon. St Mirren against Dundee United. It's round about the 12-5 mark. That's fair. And again, I'd be looking at the both teams to score there as well. So St Mirren, Dundee United, I'm going for a point apiece.
The last Premiership game, probably just as hard to call, Jim. Hibs, who lost at Ibrox but played really well in patches against a Motherwell team who have had back-to-back home wins at Fir Park.
Yeah, and Lennon Miller getting 2 goals last week against St Mirren, and tremendous performance from the goalkeeper, I'm told, as well, Aston Oxborough. So Motherwell can go to Hibs with a relative amount of confidence, I think, but Hibs have to back up that performance against Rangers. By the way, it was a shocking penalty miss. There's no other way to describe it. Absolute shocker of a penalty miss. But they did play well second half. I think even the Rangers manager conceded that Hibs may have been the better side at times for long spells in that second 45 minutes. I think they've got to back that up with a win. I think they can back it up with a win. And I'm slightly surprised they're very slight odds against, which I'm happy with. 11-10, 21-20. Hibs to beat Motherwell. I know Motherwell will make it very tough for them, but I'm going for Hibs here.
And arguably Scotland's game of the day, Jim. You dip into the Championship, second at home to first. Falkirk against Ayr United. Falkirk lost that remarkable, I think it was 43 game unbeaten league run when they lost at Wraith last weekend. Ayr, despite an injury crisis and losing the likes of Anton Dowds, get past Morton 1-0, a big win that at Somerset Park. How do you see this one going at the Falkirk Stadium?
Well, it's going to be tight. I wish it was on TV, Roger. I really do, but it's not. I know Bill Leckie was saying that last week as well. Falkirk, they have that defeat now out of the way. And of course, they played tremendously well against Celtic at Celtic Park. They've had their 2 away games. They've got the defeat out of the way. I fancy Falkirk to win this. I know the Ayr United fans, my fellow Ayrshire men, will not be happy with me saying that. But Falkirk, I think, at home against Ayr, who, as you say, have 1 or 2 injury problems. They're getting players back, but Falkirk, I think, will be right up for this. I think the Falkirk crowd will be right up for this. And 10-11 for me, Falkirk, top 5 material, Roger.
Dear. Well, listen, I hope it's another 5 o'clock job, and I hope United get something at 5 o'clock tomorrow night, Jim. As ever, thank you very much for your time. Good luck. We'll see your column in the paper tomorrow.
Thank you very much, Roger.
Well, thanks very much again for watching Go Ballistic. Remember, you can like and subscribe on the Scottish Sun YouTube channel. You can see clips on all our social media channels. We'll be back on Monday looking back at the weekend's Premiership action. We'll also have the Coffee Club with myself and Bill Leckie next Wednesday. And of course, a week today, we'll look ahead to all next week's action. Don't forget the 1-to-1 Derek McGregor's fantastic interviews with top SPFL managers. The Scott Brown interview is still on our YouTube channel and all our social media channels. Thanks very much.